Okay, so here I am in front of the library, and this is arguably the crown jewel of the university. 4 levels in total, and they sort of rise up in terms of the amount of noise you can make. At the bottom level you can eat, you can talk to your friend, and as you go up at the top level it's complete silence, you can't use your phone. Behind me here is the student union, which is likely getting renovated at the moment. I know that it's been losing money for quite a while. So I started studying in 2013, then I did a 3-year degree and took a break and came back after 5 years. But back in 2013, this was like a very nice place. At the top floor, you had some pool tables and you could get drinks. Second floor was a cafe, and then you had a bottom floor which was a nightclub. So this front area of the uni here, it's more modernly built. This is where all the computing, gaming, ethical hacking students would study. Then the old college, which is over there, that's where all the business and law classes, etc. go on. So this here is the old college, and these are just sort of regular classrooms. There's nothing modern or high-tech about these. You'll probably also find business, psychology students, any class where they don't need high-tech computers. So the university started as a college for mechanics, and this was made after Sir David Baxter, who were a family of very wealthy weavers from Dundee's textile days. So he passed away and left about £20,000, which in today's money is about £1.5 million, to create a college for young mechanics. The college grew over time, and in 1994 it officially became known as Abertay University. So Abertay was the first uni in the world to launch a computer games degree in 1999, and it was the first uni in the world to launch a ethical hacking degree in 2006. Generally speaking, Abertay doesn't tend to do well on university ratings, and that's because it's a niche university, so it offers certain subjects that other universities either don't offer or aren't very good at. For instance, it has a course on forensic psychobiology, whereas most universities would only offer a course in biology. So if you're interested in the niche subjects that Abertay offers, such as ethical hacking, computing degrees, so in terms of classes, they're all at the campus. My class sizes are actually really small. The advantage you have is that they will know you by name and you get more opportunities to ask questions. The lecturers and the staff at the uni are really excellent. Every time I've emailed a lecturer, I got a reply back in an hour. And if you have any questions or issues, you can go to the student inquiry zone in the library. The work areas for the computing and art students, I feel, are also quite high tech. My criticism would be that I was last in the uni about 5 years ago. Not much has really changed in the old college. The uni definitely tries to play at its strengths, which are the computer and gaming degrees, whereas perhaps not much money is being funneled into the other degree area. You'd want to keep in mind that Abertay is a fairly small uni. There's just a few buildings. If you want one of those unis which has lots of history and looks like a town in and of itself, you might want to consider going to Dundee Uni. There's the bigger ones like Edinburgh, Glasgow, St Andrews. Well, if you're starting a course in, say, your first year and you want to make lots of friends, then you might want to consider going to the student halls. These are accommodations provided by the university. The website is just the abertay.ac.uk, and then you go on student accommodation. This one is £115 per week. That's a really ugly green. You've got the standard student there. So this one's not too far from Abertay University. It's about an 8-minute walk. With student accommodation, you get a lease for a certain amount of period. The benefit of this is that you don't have to rent during your summer holidays, so you'll only be renting while you're studying. As a student, you don't have to pay council tax, but if you do decide to rent privately, make sure that you inform Dundee Council by calling them. But generally speaking, when you sign up to your course, that will automatically notify the local council. If you don't want to go to student accommodation, you can rent privately. I would just go on Gumtree. Things can get a bit dodgy with private landlords. Make sure that you've read up on all the guidance when it comes to renting. If you're wanting to know your full sort of legal rights, as in what happens when you start a tenancy, Shelter Scotland is a charity that deals with housing issues. It's the same for the Citizens Advice Bureau. But compared to cities, say, like Glasgow or Edinburgh, finding accommodation in Dundee is fairly easy. Accommodation tends to also be a lot cheaper in Dundee. If you want to go through what courses it offers and what the grade requirements are, this is abertay.ac.uk/courses. So let's say I want to do law. So they've got all the law courses here. Abertay isn't renowned for its law program. There are other universities which might be better for it. So if you keep scrolling down, you can see the entry requirement. You can see that there's a requirement for 1A and 3Bs for your higher grades. If you're an international student, depends on what country you're from. My favorite country in the world, Pakistan. So it actually tells you what you need. They've actually got a contact page for the international team. So you can find out how much you'll be paying, what documents you need. When looking at courses, you might also want to consider whether or not your course offers a semester abroad. I got to do that with the Erasmus program, but that doesn't exist anymore. I believe there will be something there to replace that. You could also look to see whether or not you can do a semester in a work placement. So for instance, in the law program, you get to do a work placement where you work in a law firm. So I've lived here for 9 years, I believe. I did get mugged once, but I think that's a very rare incident. I think Dundee in general is quite safe. I have friends who've also lived as long as I have and nothing's happened to them. Recently, there has been campaigning for women's safety. There's a group called Abertay. They're doing sort of protests and boycotts of nights out. So something to look at if you are concerned about this. There are lots of different societies that you can join. You can also create your own societies, which looks great on your CV. All of these societies will have students running them, so you can also take positions of authority, such as a president, vice president, and again, those things will look great on your CV. If you have any specific questions or anything you want me to make a video on, leave it in the comments and I might take it up. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you want to support the channel, I've got some links in the description. You can become a Patreon.